Intro. Are you tired of chasing, proving, and constantly trying to impress women, only to be left confused, rejected, or taken for granted? The truth is, the more you chase, the more you repel. But what if the secret to attraction lies not in chasing, but in becoming? This is where Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of strength, self-mastery, and purpose, comes in. In this video, you'll discover 7 Stoic principles that will naturally draw the right women into your life, without a single chase. So, stop chasing. Start becoming. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more Stoic wisdom. Now let's dive in. Principle 1. Value yourself first. Let's begin with a powerful truth. If you don't see your own value, no one else will. Now, listen to this quote from the Stoic philosopher Seneca. He said, "If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. But if you live based on other people's opinions, you will never be rich." What does that mean for you? Most men chase women because deep down, they feel like something is missing. They think, if I can just get her attention, her love, her approval, then I'll feel complete. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. You're not broken. You're not missing anything. You don't need to be fixed by a relationship or another person's validation. You are already whole. The problem is, many men don't realize this. They hand over their peace of mind, their time, their energy, all for someone who hasn't even earned a place in their life. That's not strength. That's desperation. A Stoic man values himself first. He knows that his time is sacred. His energy is limited. His peace is priceless. He doesn't beg for attention, because he respects himself too much to do that. And guess what? Women are naturally attracted to men who don't need them to feel valuable, but who choose them from a position of strength and self-respect. So here's a question to ask yourself right now. Do I truly value my own time, my energy, my peace? Because if you don't, why should anyone else? Direct hit practical Stoic exercise. Let's make this real. Every morning this week, take just 5 minutes and write down 3 things you value about yourself. It could be your loyalty, your work ethic, your creativity, anything. Then, choose one thing to say no to this week. It could be a toxic conversation, a draining habit, or a situation that doesn't help you grow. This small practice builds a strong foundation of self-respect. And that respect becomes visible to the world. Let me give you an example. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful Stoic emperors in history, never chased popularity. He wasn't loud. He didn't try to win people over with charm or flashy speeches. He focused on doing what was right. He stayed calm under pressure. And people naturally respected him because of the strength and discipline he showed every day. That's the kind of presence that attracts, not just women, but everyone. So remember. Don't chase. Stand firm. Let who you are speak louder than what you try to say. Principle 2. Master your emotions. Let's start with a powerful line from Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about that for a second. You can't control what other people say or do. You can't force someone to like you, stay with you, or even respond to your messages. But you can control how you react. And that's where real strength lives. Now here's the reality. Most men chase women out of emotion. Not logic. Not clarity. They're chasing because they're anxious, afraid of being alone, feeling lust, or trying to fill some emotional emptiness. They're looking for someone else to calm what they haven't yet mastered inside themselves. But Stoicism teaches something very different. A Stoic man is not cold or emotionless. He feels everything, but he doesn't let those feelings control him. When he gets rejected, he doesn't explode in anger. When he's excited, he doesn't make impulsive decisions. When he's hurt, he doesn't beg for attention or closure. Instead, he does three things. He breathes. He pauses. He observes. And in that space between the emotion and the reaction, he finds power. Because when a man can stay calm in emotional moments, especially with women, he becomes rare. He becomes safe. He becomes intriguing. He becomes someone who stands out, not because he tries, but because his energy is grounded. Practical Stoic exercise. The next time you feel the urge to text her out of nowhere, especially if you're emotional, maybe you feel ignored, frustrated, or lonely, don't act immediately. Pause. Take a deep breath. Put your phone down. And instead of reacting, wait 24 hours. Give yourself space to think. Am I doing this because I'm confident and centered? Or because I'm panicking or hoping for validation? This simple habit of waiting changes everything. It shows maturity. It builds discipline. And over time, it becomes second nature. Ask yourself honestly. Are my actions coming from calm confidence, or from desperate need? You'll be surprised how often it's the second one. But that awareness is the first step to real change. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a man who's been texting a woman for a few weeks. Suddenly, she stops replying. Ghosted. No warning. No explanation. Now, the average guy? He panics. He sends long emotional messages, asks what went wrong, maybe even gets angry. But the Stoic man? He feels the sting. He recognizes the emotion. But he doesn't let it take over. He simply lets go. No begging. No drama. No reaction. And that silence? That stillness? It speaks louder than anything he could say. It shows strength, self-respect, and emotional maturity. Final thought. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you know how to hold steady, even in the storm. When you learn to do that, you become the kind of man who doesn't chase. Because he doesn't need to. Women notice that. And they're drawn to it, more than you might realize. Principle 3. Focus on your purpose, not people. Let's start with a quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. He said, "Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern." In simple terms, that means, put your energy into what you can control, your thoughts, your habits, your growth. Not people's opinions, moods, or reactions. But here's the truth. Most men do the opposite. Instead of focusing on their goals, their personal growth, their calling, they focus on women. They orbit around women emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Their mood depends on whether she texts back. Their confidence rises and falls based on how much attention they get. They build their day around someone else's presence, rather than building their future. And that energy? It doesn't attract. It repels. Now contrast that with a Stoic man. The Stoic man has a mission. A reason to wake up early. A goal that excites him. A path that he's fully committed to, whether anyone is watching or not. Maybe he's building a business. Maybe he's mastering a skill, like coding, music, or fitness. Maybe he's serving others, learning, or creating something meaningful. Whatever it is, he pours himself into it with quiet intensity. And here's what happens. People begin to notice. Women begin to notice. Because purpose is magnetic. There is nothing more attractive than a man who knows where he's going, and doesn't need anyone's permission to go there. Direct hit practical Stoic exercise. Let's make this real. Take out a notebook, or open a note on your phone, and ask yourself this question. What is the one thing I want to accomplish this year that would make me proud, even if no one ever gave me credit for it? That's your core purpose for the moment. Now commit to it. Start by spending just one focused hour each day working toward that purpose, without distractions. No scrolling. No texting. No chasing. Just you, and your mission. Build that habit. And watch what happens to your confidence, your focus, and yes, even your attraction level. Picture this. There's a man who goes to the gym every morning at 6 a.m. He doesn't post about it. He doesn't talk about it. He just shows up, day after day. He's not lifting weights to impress anyone. He's not chasing admiration or compliments. He trains to become stronger, clearer, and more disciplined. He's chasing excellence, not approval. And here's the powerful part. Even without trying, people start noticing. Women begin to wonder, who is that guy? Why? Because excellence speaks louder than words. Purpose shines brighter than pickup lines. Hammer and wrench final thought. You don't have to stop liking women. You just have to stop making them your main focus. Your mission comes first. When you put your purpose at the center of your life, you naturally become the kind of man people, and especially women, want to be around. Not because you're trying to get their attention, but because you're doing something that matters. That's the Stoic way. Principle 4. Detach from outcome. Let's begin with a simple but powerful quote from Epictetus. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Now, think about this. Have you ever sent a message to someone and then spent the rest of the day checking your phone, hoping they'd reply? Or maybe you gave someone a compliment and waited nervously, needing them to smile or say something nice back. That feeling, that tension, is what Stoicism warns us about. You've placed your peace, your emotional state, in someone else's hands. And the more you do that, the more powerless you become. Direct hit. Here's the truth. Most people are deeply attached to how things turn out. They want to say the perfect thing, get the perfect reaction, or feel validated by someone else's attention. But that neediness is actually the thing that pushes people away. It's like trying to hold water tightly in your fist. The more you squeeze, the more it slips out. But what if you let go? What if, instead of focusing on the result, you focused on your action? What if you shifted your mindset from, I hope she likes me, to, I'm proud of the way I showed up? That's what Stoicism teaches. You can't control whether she texts back. You can't force someone to compliment you, follow you, or love you. But you can control your thoughts. You can control your choices. You can control your dignity. Man in lotus position. Practical Stoic exercise. Here's something simple but powerful. The next time you talk to someone, especially someone you're attracted to, set a clear intention in your mind. I'm here to express myself, not to impress them. Don't chase their reaction. Don't try to read their face. Just be genuine, confident, and present. And when the conversation ends, don't measure success by how they responded. Measure it by this question. Was I true to myself? That's where real confidence comes from. Picture this. A man sees a woman he finds attractive. He walks over, calm and relaxed, and says something kind, something simple. Hey, I just wanted to say, you have a beautiful smile. Have a great day. Then, he smiles, nods, and walks away. He doesn't wait for her reaction. He doesn't try to force a conversation. He doesn't look back wondering if she liked it. Because for him, the win wasn't her approval, it was his courage. That's what detachment looks like. It's not about being cold. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about knowing that your self-worth isn't tied to any one moment or one person. Locked final thought. Detaching from outcomes isn't about giving up. It's about rising above. It's about understanding that when you let go of needing a result, you gain your power back. Because real attraction doesn't come from begging for attention. It comes from being whole, with or without it. And that's the Stoic way. Principle 5. Build an unshakable life. Let's talk about something you don't often hear in conversations about attraction. Stability. Not flashy clothes. Not smooth lines. But true, unshakable inner stability. And few men embodied this better than Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. He lived through war, political betrayal, family loss, and constant pressure. Yet somehow, he remained grounded. Calm. Centered. Clear. He didn't fall apart when things went wrong. He didn't lash out emotionally. He stood tall, like a mountain in the middle of a storm. So how did he do it? The answer is simple, but powerful. He built a structured inner life. He focused on what he could control, his thoughts, his habits, his choices, and let go of the noise around him. And here's the part most people miss. The more stable your inner world is, the more attractive your outer world becomes. Light bulb why this matters. Let's be real, life is chaotic. People are unpredictable. Emotions come and go. But when you become the kind of man who stays grounded no matter what, you stand out. Because most men today are constantly reacting to the world around them. They get overwhelmed easily. They chase drama. They feel lost without constant stimulation. Women, and people in general, can sense that instability. But a man who is calm, organized, and steady, that man is like gravity. He brings peace. He brings focus. He brings a presence that people want to be around. You don't need chaos to feel alive. You need clarity. Direct hit focus areas for an unshakable life. Here are 3 key habits you can start building today. 1. Daily discipline. Wake up at the same time every day. Move your body, exercise, stretch, walk. Meditate or sit in silence for a few minutes. 2. Clear goals. Know what you're working toward. Write it down. Break it into small steps. Don't live life on autopilot. 3. Minimal emotional drama. Stop reacting to every little thing. Don't get dragged into arguments or gossip. Protect your peace like it's treasure, because it is. Man in lotus position practical exercise. Let's start simple. 1. Declutter your space. Your room, your phone, your schedule. A messy space often reflects a messy mind. Clear your environment to clear your focus. 2. Create a simple morning routine. Don't overcomplicate it. Wake up. Drink water. Stretch or do push-ups. Breathe or sit quietly. Set your intention for the day. This sets the tone. It tells your brain, I'm in control. Over time, these small habits create massive inner strength. Picture this. You're at a party. Loud music. People are laughing, moving around, trying to impress each other. Then a man walks in. He's not flashy. He's not trying to get attention. But something about him feels solid. Calm. Grounded. He moves with quiet confidence. He listens more than he speaks. He doesn't chase anyone, but somehow, people gravitate toward him. Why? Because his life isn't chaotic. He brings stillness with him. And that stillness? That calm energy? That's real power. That's real attraction. Locked final thought. You don't attract by being loud. You don't win by being everywhere all the time. You attract by being stable. Consistent. Grounded. You become magnetic when you build a life you don't need to escape from. That's the Stoic way. Principle 6. Say less, mean more. Let's start with a simple idea that's been lost in today's world of constant talking, texting, and oversharing. Silence, when it comes from inner strength, is powerful. Zeno, the ancient Greek philosopher who founded Stoicism, understood this deeply. He didn't just teach with words. He taught by how he lived. Through his calm presence, through restraint, through silence. Now let's bring that into the modern world. Have you ever noticed that the men who chase are often the ones who talk too much? They over-explain themselves. They try to convince a woman to like them. They tell long stories hoping to impress. They crack joke after joke, fearing a quiet moment. All of that comes from insecurity, not power. But the Stoic man? He's different. He doesn't need to dominate the conversation. He doesn't feel the urge to fill every silence. He listens. He observes. He speaks only when there's something worth saying. And here's what makes that magnetic. When you say less, your words carry more weight. When you listen more, you understand deeper. When you're fully present, without trying to perform, people lean in. Especially women. Because a man who is comfortable in silence, who isn't constantly trying to win someone over, creates a sense of mystery, safety, and strength. Why this works? Think about the people you truly respect. Are they loud and scattered? Or are they calm, focused, and deliberate with their words? When you learn to be intentional with your speech, when you no longer speak just to get attention, you begin to create a presence that demands attention. Not with volume, but with depth. Practical Stoic exercise. Here's something to try this week. In your next conversation, whether it's with a woman, a friend, or a coworker, intentionally speak 30% less than you usually would. Instead, listen carefully. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Really hear what the other person is saying. Ask thoughtful questions. Show you're engaged. Stay fully present. Don't fidget, scroll your phone, or look around. Just be there. This simple change will immediately shift how people see you. You'll seem more confident, more mysterious, and more in control of yourself. Let me paint you a picture. A man goes on a date. He's not trying to show off. He doesn't have a list of jokes or lines prepared. He just shows up, calm, grounded, and genuinely interested in who he's with. He sits back, listens, maintains eye contact. He speaks clearly and slowly when he needs to, but never overdoes it. And something interesting happens. The woman begins to lean in. She starts talking more. Asking him questions. She's curious about him, because he's not trying to force anything. His silence isn't awkward, it's intentional. It's strong. And that energy? That's rare. That's attractive. Final thought. You don't need to talk a lot to be respected. You don't need to impress people with stories or charm. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is be still. Be present. Be real. Say less, but mean every word. That's the Stoic way. Principle 7. Let her come to you. Let's begin with a timeless quote from Epictetus. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. In other words, stop telling people who you are, show them through your actions, your energy, and your way of life. Now this final principle is the most misunderstood, especially when it comes to dating and attraction. Most men are taught to chase. To make the first move. To constantly prove their worth to women. To reach out, initiate, follow up, and try harder when someone pulls away. But Stoicism teaches us the opposite. It says, don't try to convince someone to like you. Become the kind of man they naturally want to be around. That's what real attraction is, not persuasion, but presence. Why this works? Think about it. When you're constantly chasing someone, what message are you sending, without even realizing it? You're saying, my value depends on your approval. I need your attention to feel good about myself. I don't trust that who I am is enough. And that kind of energy, while unspoken, is deeply felt. It creates pressure. It repels. It makes people pull away. But now imagine the opposite. A man who is calm. Who's not waiting on anyone's attention. Who's deeply focused on his own path. And who isn't trying to be noticed, but is noticed anyway. That's the man people respect. That's the man women are curious about. Because he isn't chasing, and that lack of neediness becomes power. Practical Stoic exercise. Here's your challenge. For 1 full week, don't initiate any contact with women, not even someone you're already talking to. Don't text first. Don't call first. Don't try to get attention. Instead, focus completely on yourself. Build your routine. Train your mind and body. Do things that make you feel alive, without needing anyone's reaction. Let your energy speak. Let your presence, your silence, and your focus do the talking. And here's the surprising part, when you stop reaching, others start noticing. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. Let me share a simple story. There's a man who goes to the gym every day. Same time. Same routine. He doesn't talk much. He doesn't show off. He's focused, head down, consistent. There's a woman who's been at that same gym for months. She noticed him early on, but he never looked her way. Never approached her. Never chased. Then, one day, something shifts. She walks up to him. She smiles. She says, "Hey, I always see you here. What's your name?" That moment didn't happen because he chased. It happened because he was grounded. Because he stayed focused on his path. Because he became magnetic by not needing anyone's approval. That's the Stoic way. Final thought. You don't need to chase anyone. You don't need to force connection. When you live with purpose. When you stay consistent. When you radiate confidence from within. People will come to you. Not because you begged for it. But because your life, your presence, is something they want to be part of. So let go of the chase. Let her come to you, not because you're playing games, but because you're already whole. And that wholeness? That's what truly attracts. Chasing women is a distraction. Becoming a man of depth, purpose, and presence? That's a lifelong reward. Attraction is not about tricks. It's about truth. Let go of chasing. Embrace becoming. If you found value in this video, consider subscribing for more Stoic insights that help you grow stronger, wiser, and more centered every single day. See you in the next one.